Hi, this is the Global Take with me, Ariel Cohen. I want to talk about what happened with the Colonial refined products pipeline. Refined products are gasoline, jet fuel, and others. This is a huge pipeline. It's something like 5,000 miles long, running from the US southwest Texas, where these products are refined, to up the East Coast. This is the first time in my memory that a major infrastructure piece of the US was attacked. Who attacked them? Hackers. It just so happens that the hackers speak Russian. And why did they attack it? Well, they say it was a ransom. Reportedly, $5 million were paid in ransom. The attack was with a ransomware. But number one, a ransom attack is an attack, and it needs to be investigated whether or not there was a state actor behind it. In this case, probably Russia. Number two, a ransom attack conceals what may be a deliberate attempt to evaluate how protected US infrastructure is in the energy sector and in general. This too needs to be investigated, whether or not a state actor was behind it and how unprotected we are, how vulnerable we are. Number three, we need to check other infrastructure targets, be it pipelines, be it power stations, nuclear reactors, airports. The US is vulnerable. It was clear with the Colonial attack. It was clear with the solar wind intrusion by Russia. And while President Joe Biden said that we need to investigate the Colonial pipeline attack, it is clear to our intelligence community, to our cyber community, that solar wind that penetrated a number of US government targets for months demonstrated a huge vulnerability. And this is not the end. Before that, we know that millions and millions of personal data was stolen from the credit bureaus, from credit cards, from Facebook. Our data is extremely exposed, extremely vulnerable, and there are intelligence usages to this data and to processing of this data. What does it all mean? It means that we are in the middle of a cyber war. It's not a potential threat. It's not a theoretical, a hypothetical threat. And we need to protect our citizens from these cyber attacks. We need to protect our infrastructure. Some of it is very, very vital. You saw already there were lines as long as 2 hours. People were waiting online to get gasoline. And in other situations like that, if, for example, the first responders are shut down, the consequences can be very, very dire. If we lose electricity, they estimate that anything longer than 1 week will create a lot of damage, long-term damage. Lives will be lost, especially if electricity is not supplied in winter to homes, or it's not supplied to hospitals and places where vital functions of the society and the state are performed. What am I saying here? I'm saying that instead of chasing big, ambitious, long-term projects in, let's say, the infrastructure and energy sectors that Joe Biden is talking about, such as putting all these electric charging stations. This is not a job for the federal government. This is a job for the private sector. Take this money and reallocate it to build up cybersecurity. You have to have a functioning, strong domestic cyber protection. And when you identify the intruders, go after them and disrupt them as hard as you can. You have to have both a deterrent power in cyberspace and a protective power. I talked recently about the clash between Hamas and Israel. Israel has a protective shield called the Iron Dome. It shoots down up to 90% of the missiles that Hamas is shooting from Gaza on Israeli targets. So when they shoot 1,000 missiles, only 100 missiles get in. 100 missiles can do a lot of damage and kill people, but of course it would be 10 times more if all of these missiles got through. So that's a protective power. We need to have the defenses, but also the deterrent power is what the other side estimates the US would be able to do if they attack the US infrastructure as they did with the ransomware of Colonial. It also means that our international arms of law enforcement need to be employed. So once we identify these hackers, they should be assured that the long arm of the US law enforcement will chase them and find them and arrest them and put them on trial wherever they are. If it's in Russia or Romania, they need to understand that what they did disrupted so much of our life that the US law enforcement will not rest until they're brought to justice. This was the Global Take. Please subscribe to our channel and follow me, Ariel Cohen, on Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. All the best.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to get more content like this.